this Tuesday, January 13th. For the next hour, we're going to be placing some bets. Guys, let me know if the audio is working okay. My microphone kind of threw me a curveball right before I fired this thing up. So let me know in the chat for my OGs and DGens if you can hear me okay. Because I think the audio is working fine, but I definitely need a double check from you guys to make sure it is. If you can't hear me, definitely let me know. If my mouth is moving and nothing's coming out and you can't hear, let me know. But for the next hour, we're going to play some bets. So let's get into it. I got the EV tool pulled up. Let's jump into things. Welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Okay. So, yeah, also waiting for, looks like I'm streaming. Waiting for the YouTube stream to pop up. You see over here. Maybe I'm on the wrong one. Maybe I thought I chose the right one. Let me back out of this for a second. I don't know what's going on. Dan, good to hear, man. Yeah, it kind of threw me just for a loop there. There we go. I can finally see myself. If you can hear me, that's good to know. All right, let's get into the plays. Let's go, let's go, let's go. All right, so we got some. We already shared a 4-pick slip earlier in the morning stream when it comes to DraftKings Pick 6. The Drake plus 6 bet hit, put in the green that day. Had a huge parlay too, as I picked up all 5 wildcard games perfectly. Turned $25 into $1,000. Love to hear that, man. And glad that the Drake play worked out for you. So let's see what we have. Looks like maybe some underdog value. Dyson Daniels plays a little slim on that value. Okay. But we do have a better discount. So let's go through the better discount. Let's go with Wemby first. Over on points, rebounds. Big matchup tonight between the Spurs and the Thunder. Wiggins under on his points. Speaking of that game, let's check him out. MP, what's going on? Again, guys, I think my microphone's working. Again, like the color is popping up normally on this is not green, so that caused me a little bit of I was a little concerned. But let me know if you guys can't hear me. I'm hoping that you can. But appreciate Dan. Let me know that it's all good. McDavid over 1.5 points. We're going to use this Wemby discount right now. So just let me know, guys, if you are able to hear me. It just kind of provides a little confirmation that we're looking pretty good. All right, so this is going to be a 3-pick slip for Wemby discounted. No insurance. $10 max entry over here on Better. I play these discounted slips every day. There will be a stream tomorrow morning, guys. And then this time tomorrow, I will be on a plane flying back to Pittsburgh. Trey, appreciate that. There we go. 3-pick slip on Better. So there we go. There we go. There we go. So there will be a stream, guys, tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Eastern. There will not be a stream tomorrow evening as I'll be flying back to Pittsburgh. I'll be in Pittsburgh for 10 days or so. So there's going to be definitely increased betting volume on ProfitX and No Vig, as I'll be looking forward to that. There won't be, I'll still be showcasing DFS plays, guys, but Pennsylvania, for those of you that don't know, you can't play DFS. I can't play PrizePicks, Underdog, Better, Parlay Play, DraftKings Pick 6 in the state of Pennsylvania. So I'll just be showcasing a lot of the screen like this, unfortunately. All right, so there's the 3-pick slip on Wemby. Jalen Pickett over on his points. We could hit this up on Underdog or Better. I'll probably throw Matthew Nyes in on this play. I also have the Sharp Money tool pulled up. Let's get some of the DFS books pulled up because we might find a play for the Sharp Money tool. See what we got here. Hopefully on this morning stream, if you guys were able to tune in, we got some awesome value on the Pelicans money line. Also got incredible value on Zach Hyman anytime goal scorer. It's still good at plus 180 odds, but we got it at plus 195, which was sick. McAvoy over on shots on goal. Someone's got 2K on this, want this at minus 118. We could get this at minus 116. Mitchell under on points. Better odds over here on FanDuel, so we'll take Davion Mitchell. We're going to grab this Jalen Johnson over on his points and rebounds. We're going to take this other discount over here on Better. We'll grab Davion Mitchell. under 7.5 points. And then over here on the EV tool, grab Jalen Pickett over 10.5 points. And we'll fire up a 3-pick slip here. Again, 3-pick slip, no insurance, $10 entry. And I'll share this link with you guys right now. Appreciate that, MP. Appreciate that. Okay. All right, there we go. You know, every now and then, guys, we haven't had this happen in a while. OGs and DGens know this. Dan definitely knows this. MP knows this. Haven't had one of those streams in a while where I start talking for like 5 minutes and the audio doesn't work. That was like a common theme when I was living in Pennsylvania. We'd have like one stream a week where like I would just fire it up and just forget like the audio wasn't working. So we've had a pretty good run without that. Though this morning's stream, I forgot to plug in my charger on my laptop, which it's plugged in now. So the stream died after about 45 minutes this morning, which it's always something with me. Always something. Currently devigging to Pinnacle, guys. If you can barely see this, Pinnacle worst case, that's who we're devigging to. All right, so there's some better slips. Let's go and look at FanDuel at the moment. Devig to FanDuel for maybe some NBA plays. Might be able to find some good stuff over here when it comes to some of the other books. They really like the Şengün under on points and assists. Not a market that is offered by Pinnacle. Okay. Then we got, I shared this play earlier on Pericard, under on his games 1. All right. And then, man, we got a lot of better value. But I've already shared 2 slips. I want to try to find something else. Mitchell on his rebounds and assists. Pericard, I mean, this is to FanDuel. To Pinnacle, not quite as good, which I really lean on Pinnacle when it comes to tennis sharps. But we got some underdog value here, but I'm really not looking for tennis. I don't really lean FanDuel as a sharp book when it comes to tennis. I do lean on them, though, for the NBA. So we could do, Trey Jones isn't great. I can get down with Luka. I can get down with this dude. And we'll find somebody else. So let's try to create an underdog 3-pick slip. Luka under on his points. He went nuclear last night. And then Zeke over on his rebounds. All right. Let's look at the sharp money tool. McAvoy, again, not super impressed by that. Let's refresh the page. There's an underdog play. We already had the Mitchell play. I could add him again if I wanted to. Murray under on points, rebounds, and assists. I'm not really impressed by the liquidity here. This is really small liquidity. I don't really care for that. And the McAvoy play is a bit better in terms of liquidity, $1,500. So we'll go with this. Over on his shots on goal. So over 1.5 shots on goal for McAvoy. 3-pick slip, no insurance. 6x payout. There we go. I'll share the link here with you guys. Yeah, Irish, we definitely have another taco that we have to hit up on PrizePicks. So currently right now, trying to see what the other taco is at the moment. Is it in the NHL? Yeah, it's on Dustin Wolf of the Calgary Flames. So we have that taco. We could pair that up with Mitchell under on his rebounds and assists. I like that. Mitchell plays for the Thunder. Okay, and then we need to find one more. Just one more. Again, not thoroughly impressed with anything on the sharp money tool. For the positive EV tool, the next best play would be Jakey Boy here. This has a small edge. Again, anything under -122 has an edge. This barely has one, but it does have one, to say the least. And we're looking at the under 13.5 points. All right, again, I can only play these for $5, guys, so Irish, appreciate you letting me know about that PrizePicks play. We'll definitely take a peek to see if Onyx a little bit later has any boosts going on. I'll share this link with you guys. This is the Dustin Wolf taco. Easton wants to know if Bracco's a legit sweepstakes site to use. I mean, I used it this morning. I use it. I haven't requested a payout yet from them. So, you know, it's the risk within the risk. If anyone else wants to add their 2 cents for Easton, let them know. But I have no reason to believe it isn't. But again, it's a newer sports book, so I can understand the hesitation. So if anyone's had a good or bad experience with Bracco, let me know in the chat. All right, so there's the PrizePicks slip. Cool. Let's refresh the page again. We're deviating to FanDuel right now at the moment. Okay, first quarter player points. Again, I've run a couple underdog slips, guys. I might be out of cash, or I might not be out of cash, but underdog only lets me play X amount of dollars per day on my account. So we'll try to cook this next one up here, but I don't know if it's going to happen. The under 5.5 first quarter points. And then we're looking, so they might not let me do this because this is Dyson Daniels and these are two guys on the same team. Oh, they'll give me a 6x payout here. These are both unders, correct? Correct. Yeah, they'll let me do it. All right, here we go. There we go. Easton, if your comment is in regards to OddsJam, sometimes OddsJam's the back end, the API team, I don't know how they scrape their odds, but sometimes with certain sports books, it's a little difficult for them. Sometimes books come and go. Again, I've had nothing but a good experience with Bracco, but if anyone else has had a poor experience, feel free to comment on it. But again, man, my official pick is, I can understand, but if you feel a little uneasy about them, but I've had a good experience with them. Certain sports books, though, OddsJam's team has a difficult time scraping the odds and getting them to stick on the site. So that can be a reason why. Let me refresh this on Underdog, and because I want to make sure I take a screenshot of this. I'm probably out. I might be able to make one more slip on Underdog. Again, guys, once you get limited on Underdog, which some people in here are already limited, you know about it, it can become a little difficult to get down. You can't get, I think you only get down like 4 or 5 slips a day. Dabble, would love to get down a Dabble slip. We got Bam, I like that. This dude on his points. And then Marcus Smart, okay. So again, guys, Dabble recently just went live in Arizona last week. So I think I'm only allowed to play $50 as a max slip. But again, we're going to grab these plays. I like leaning on FanDuel from time to time in terms of a sharp sports book. Looks like this Bam play already bumped to 9.5. So that stinks. Let's go to this Denver game for points. And then we can do Marcus Smart on his points and assists for this Lakers game. Let's look at the under 16.5. And then what else do we got? Dyson Daniels over on his points. Okay, now I did take his first quarter under points, but I'm also fine just taking his over on his points here. So we're looking at the over on 12.5. I don't know how to share the links on this one, guys. Double checking, making sure this is a 6x payout. It is. And they'll let me play this at max for $50. I'm in for $50. How do I share this entry ID? That's like the biggest thing. Sharing the entry ID. If I copy this and throw this in my notes, because Dabble does not have a website, guys. You have to do it on your phone. Again, I don't know how to. It just ends up sharing the screenshot. If anyone knows how to share the link to the entry so I could share it with you guys, let me know. But the best I can do is just tell you that I hit this over on Dyson Daniels, and then this Marcus Smart play, and then the Zeke play as well. All right, let's head over to the optimizer. Let's look at Fliff. We'll look at Rebet. What's going on, Trent? Skunky, what's going on? No doubt about what's going on, guys. So the name, guys, on Dabble is just at Billy C. It might be Billy C24. Might be my YouTube name. I can't remember. No, it's just code Billy C. Pretty simple. If you guys follow me there, you'll see the slip that I just created. And I'll make sure to get better, make sure I can share that with all you guys. Okay. Minimum data points here on Flip. Three minimum data points. Don't have any pinnacle odds here for this tennis play. Sorry, boxing. Apologies, boxing. Don't really care. No real pinnacle odds for any of these plays on Flip. And the plays that we do have pinnacle odds for, these are really, really juicy. I don't like playing short odds plays like this. Not my jam. I mean, it's 3 cents off on this play. The Kings plus 2.5. This tennis match, not a good play. Not a good play. 13 cents off and at minus almost 500 odds. So these kind of all suck to me. And again, this play on the Seahawks, it's only 2 cents off. So that's not a big enough gap. So we'll move on, take a look at rebet. Rebet, if we're looking at, let's say, 3 minimum data points, this is definitely a mistake. It's live, though, right now. If this is real life, go bet it because it's 1,000,000% EV edge, but it's most likely an error. You can bet live here, guys. Pre-match and live on the optimizer, which is nice. So some of these are live. These are all lives. So if we look at pre-match at the moment, because these live plays are probably toast, this play on Bouchard is only off by 5 cents. When we're talking about player props, guys, what do I mean by off by 5 cents? What's Rebet's price? Minus 138. What's Pinnacle's price? Minus 143. What's the difference? It's 5. So for player props, we would love to see 15, 20, 25 of a difference. At 5, it's a hard pass for me. That's a pass for me, dog. Same here. I guess I'll shout a play out if I actually like it. Survey says on this, no. Let's take a look at sleeper. For any of my folks out there that are looking to hit up some sleeper plays, don't hold your breath for sleeper. It's typically not great. And that seems to be the case right now. Again, this AJ Green play looks decent, but again, we only have DraftKings as the only source of, information here that we can kind of see where this is priced at. So I really don't care about DraftKings. I need more books than just DraftKings. When you're using a top-down approach, guys, you're playing with fire if you're only using one sports book that's a rec book like an MGM or DraftKings as your source of truth. Hard for me to really say if there is any edge at all. That's why I like to have at least 3 or 4 minimum data points. The more data points, the more their sports books' opinions, the more confidence that I can have, or at least just evaluating the play. Let's take a look at owner's box too. So I know we didn't give so much. We don't always show owner's box. In this particular, let me see if there's anything that I would say yes to. Tyler Hero on his points down here. It's okay to Pinnacle. It's not very good to FanDuel, which at this time of day, I put some serious weight on FanDuel's odds, and I really do. There are certain spots we'll bet into FanDuel. There's also certain spots I'll bet into Pinnacle, a.k.a. Bet 105. So any book can catch action. At the moment, I would say yes to Giannis. This is okay. It's not bad. Again, these are 6-man plays. Again, if you just click this drop down, whatever type of slip that you like to make, OddsJam's already calculated the odds that you're getting paid out. So, typically for me, it would be a 3-man slip at minus 122. I'd still play the Giannis play. Jaime Jaquez, I have no FanDuel, I have no Pinnacle, so I really don't have much insight. Same here with Mark Williams. On Tyler Hero, I'm fine taking the under. I'm fine taking the over on Giannis. And then maybe the under 3 on Cooper Kupp. Trying to find this third pick, not the best. Yeah, this is hard for me to figure out the third pick of this slip. I just don't like what FanDuel's price is compared to what we're getting this at on this line. It's not very good. Let's look at pick 6. Honestly, I wouldn't submit the slip there on owner's box. I know we're 1 pick away, but If I can't find a third pick that has an edge, I'm not making a slip just to make a slip. And I don't even have access to owner's box. AJ Green here under on his points. It's okay. It's not great. DraftKings Pick 6 does have, a 4-pick, 30% boost, guys, on some NBA picks. They also have an NHL. Typically, I'm not playing NHL too often on DraftKings. It's normally NFL and then NBA. And I'm sure when baseball season comes back, it'll be MLB for sure. Here on Wiggins, whatever. Same with Holmgren, whatever. Reed Shepherd, okay, I can get down with Reed Shepherd. But again, I got to find 3 other picks outside of Reed Shepherd. So we're taking Shepherd under on his points. McDaniels, okay. It's fine. It's not like incredible. Under on his PRA. That already bumped. It's at 24.5, so shout that out. Difficult. Giannis under 34.5 points. This is 11 cents off to FanDuel. It's not bad. I know we just said take his over on owner's box, but here, the line's a little too high for me. I'm fine taking the under. So we got 2 plays right now with Giannis and Reed Shepherd. And I'll take Tyler over on his, I'll take Hero over on his PRA. And then for the 4th pick, Harrison Barnes, not great. I'd go with Ryan Rollins. They might nerf this a little bit since we're taking, I don't know. We'll see how this goes. Points and rebounds. And it's already at 19.5, so that's already bumped. And again, tough out in the street sometimes when it's like this with the NBA. Jimmy, not great. Bam. Again, I already have the over on Tyler Hero, so the over 26.5. Not ideal. Guys, I don't mean to take up so much time going through this. Would love to be able to give you guys that boost so that we can move on with it. Anton, what's going on? Ken, good evening to you. Saints fan, how's it going, man? Yeah, Darius, apologies, Darius. I'm kind of new to Dabble, bro. So, my username's Billy C. If I share it, I don't really know how to share this shit on Dabble. You can call me technologically inequipped or inept. I'm happy to share it, but I just don't know how to do it on Dabble, bro. So I apologize, man. I'm trying the best I can here. Zion, yeah, man, this sucks. There's honestly, guys, there's nothing that pisses me off more than when this takes like 10 minutes to cook up a goddamn slip. I fucking hate this shit because it takes forever. Eamon Thompson's like, all right, it's not great to FanDuel. It's okay to Pinnacle. This annoys the living hell out of me. 32. It's at 32.5 now. So I would take the under because it's 32.5 at minus 120. It's not even a good price. Not even a good price. Şengün. Yeah, this just takes up way too much time, and I have so much other stuff. So I don't really have anything right now, because I have 3 picks on DraftKings Pick 6, which I'll play as a 3-pick slip. But the Giannis play bumped and the Reed Shepherd play bump. So I don't really have anything right now, because there's not enough out there for me to really play something. So we're just going to move on. We'll look at the sharp money tool. At least for my own sanity, I want to move on. Main markets, player props, pretty simple setup here, guys. I don't have any sports books, limits, liquidity, max odds. Just kind of want to go through this, and let's see what the top play is. Boone Jenner. Remember, guys, this is a fundamental, you really have a difference in belief fundamentally, that you believe that whoever's posting these in high amounts of liquidity on these exchanges, you think that they're very sharp, right? So someone has posted roughly $7,000 on Boone Jenner. They're offering you to bet his under because they want him to bet. They want to bet his over. They want to bet his over at plus 129 odds. And so this tool looks at other recreational books that are offering either the same price or a better price than what this bettor wants it as. So you can get this at MGM or any Canby Sportsbook. Again, just because someone has $7,000 on it doesn't mean that you should go put 50% of your bankroll on this play, because good bets lose and bad bets win all the time, or bets just lose, right? If Boone Jenner goes out and gets one shot on goal, this never had a chance. So I would say, as always, if you want to play this up to 3% of your bankroll on one play. So if you really like this, you have a lot of confidence on this play this up to 3%. Otherwise, I would say a unit and a half would work, no doubt about that. I would say DraftKings at plus 126, you could bet that as well. I'm willing to take a small range here. If this person wants it at plus 129, getting this at plus 126, guys, don't freak out that you're not getting the best price. You're still getting a price that's in the ballpark, and that's what I really look for. But naturally, you can get this on Fanatics, Hard Rock, Canby, MGM, a lot of places. I would go down to get this at Bovada and even on Props Builder. FanDuel was a little bit too low for my liking, but I'm going to go grab this on DraftKings right now. Since I'm already on pick 6, I'm just going to hop over the sportsbook. Grab Boone Jenner over 2.5. Anthony Beauvillier, $5,200. Somebody wants this at plus 145 odds. Again, you can get this over here on DraftKings. I'm feeling maybe frisky. Maybe, I know they got some kind of parlay boost today. Profit boost. It's an SGP, unfortunately. So can't do much there. I could also just maybe throw this as a 2-leg parlay over on DraftKings. Player shots on goal. Grab Beauvillier. Grab Boone Jenner. That's a more aggressive strategy. If you wanted to play this conservatively, I would just go ahead and bet these as 2 individual straight wagers. And let's go down to the over-under here. Make sure, guys, when you're betting on Boone Jenner, just something that's definitely important to note. I've mentioned this before in previous streams. This DraftKings isn't the only sports book that does this. This is very common with a lot of sports books. So when you go over 2 shots on goal, you can see Boone Jenner at plus 3 or over 2.5. 3 plus is at plus 120 odds. Don't take that price. DraftKings is basically betting that you're a lazy individual. Just scroll down a little bit, get Boone Jenner over 2.5 at plus 126 odds. DraftKings is literally trying to rip you off by allowing you to bet 3 plus, bet the over 2.5. You're in a good spot. So if we want to take this conservatively, I can do that here. Honestly, I'm feeling a little frisky tonight, so I'm going to go grab this Beauvillier play as well. Make a little 2-leg parlay and have a little fun with this. Throw $100 down and do that. So Beauvillier, see, he's at 1.5, so we have to take his 3 plus here at plus 145. I do have a boost available, my 20% all-purpose boost, which is beautiful. So we're just going to throw this down for $100 and hopefully get a decent payout, right? Take the overs on both, getting a little profit boost, getting this at like plus 544 odds, which is pretty decent. So again, the only unfortunate part here is there's no really, you can do this, I think, add to parlay. There we go. And then Boone Jenner, add to parlay. And then I can come up here and see that I'm getting this here, click, and then I'm just going to click the plus sign. It's added as a parlay, and then all I'm simply going to go do is open this up, go over to my bet tracker, click the little pencil sign here, click odds boost, and it's what? I think 650 or 554? Yeah, it's 544. And there we go. Now it's a modified play where you can see I have Beauvillier and Boone Jenner. Looks like I got some great closing line value on Luka on his rebounds, which is pretty sick. Okay, so that's the sharp money tool. Again, if you want to play this conservatively, straight wagers, I'm feeling a little frisky today. So Caruso on his steals. Again, this is a shitload of money for a player prop. One person has $5,400 on this market. Someone else has $6,300 on this market. This person wants it at plus 147. This person wants it at plus 149. You can get a great price on a Canby Sportsbook or Hard Rock. I would not take this a props builder at plus 100. That's just way too low of a price. But again, Fanatics, yeah, most people are probably limited. If you want to get this a profit exit plus 141, that's fine, right? That's within this range. I'm okay with it. Anton, no, didn't do the king of the court picks. Those types of plays, those types of promos on DraftKings, the king of the court, or for the NFL, like the touchdown, the touchdown score, the longest touchdown. Honestly, guys, really difficult, at least in terms of what OddsJam's tools offer to really have any kind of sharp EV play. It's more or less just kind of betting your opinion. I would say have fun with those ones, and just pick some guys that maybe you really like. Very few times you're going to hear me just say have fun with it, but in this case, just have fun with it. This is an insane amount of liquidity for a market like player steals, guys. Player props, typically when we're talking about points or rebounds or assists, Pinnacle's taking $250 to maybe $500 max. So to see over $5,000 here is really gets my attention. Really does. So I would take that. All right, what else do we got here? Buzelis, Giannis, got some different plays here on player blocks. Again, player blocks, not the most popular player prop market when you're betting the NBA. So to see $6,000 out there, someone wants to bet the under on Giannis, that's a really big deal in my opinion. Not many books offer you the option to bet the under, as you can see here. So you can get this at SportsZeno. Same with Buzelis. A couple of books are offering this. This better wants it at minus 150 odds. Really can't get that anywhere else other than at SportsZeno. Minus 160 here. Yeah, it's minus 160 at SportsZeno. So, again, this catches my attention because how many guys are betting $6,000 on player blocks? I think if you're an originator that you have an edge in the player blocks market, that's what I would believe. And then obviously you're betting this. Cole Caulfield, obviously probably most of you don't have Hard Rock, but this person wants this at minus 101 odds. So, you can get this at minus 107 on Kambi, minus 108 on FanDuel. The under 2.5 shots on goal. Again, this is $6,200. That's a range that I'm willing to go after, guys. So I'm going to head over to FanDuel and sprinkle this a little bit. Again, a lot of liquidity out here on these NHL shot totals. All of these plays, I want some exposure. I'm not going to lose my mind and bet everything on a couple of plays and then just cross my fingers and hope it hits, right? We want to have some exposure, but we also want to kind of, keep this in check a little bit. So shots over here, we're going to come down here to Cole Caulfield. Under 2.5 is at minus 108. Or I could try to go to player shots just to see if they offer this anywhere else. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. They don't. So we'll just go to Cole Caulfield. Under 2.5. And what's the max wager I can wager? $400, which is pretty good. Oh! All right, they brought it back. They brought it back. I was nervous for a second. All right, so I'm just going to go in for a 150 spot here. Take the under on Cole Caulfield, courtesy of the Sharp Money tool. So, taking this range over here on FanDuel. Can't get it at minus 101, but 7 cents off, I can live with that. What else we got? Timberwolves on the money line. This is bet 105. They typically copy Pinnacle's odds. This is way off. This is way off. If this is real, this is a good price. This is a very good price. I would probably say this is an incorrect price. But again, Bet 105 typically copies Pinnacle's odds. In this example, not the case. And they normally, when I log in now, they have to send me some kind of code. Again, if you guys sign up, use code BillyC, deposit $100, you'll get a $50 free bet, which is pretty sick. Again, it's a 1x rollover on Bet 105. So one of the few offshore sports books where it's a nice low rollover. Let's see. What do we got? Finally got the code. I'm willing to say this is probably not actually out there. Timberwolves, yeah, everything's crossed off at the moment, so it's not real. Okay. Let's refresh this bad boy and see what we got. Talked about Boone, talked about Bavillier, double-double for this dude. This is an insane price, guys. Even if you can only get $1 or $2 down on Fanatics, definitely worth sprinkling something down here. Plus 1,600 odds on this dude to get a double-double. I can get behind that, even if it's just a sprinkle, right? Even if you can only bet like $3, like I'd still want to try that out. This Rupert dude, under on his rebounds. Someone has $6,000 on this. You can see not many books are offering an under. They want this at minus 150. Really can't get that anywhere else other than Hard Rock. So really not a bet that most of you will be able to grab. And again, the Timberwolves on the money line. This is only 6 cents off. It's well up to Pinnacle. It's a little bit better to Circa Bookmaker and Bet Online. I mean, there's no Anthony Edwards tonight, so take it as you will. Şengün on points, something I'm a little bit more interested in. Again, $4,800. The under 22.5 on DraftKings. I mean, this is minus 138 on FanDuel. This is fantastic on DraftKings. Let me fire up DraftKings. Şengün under on his points against the Bulls. Like, this is an incredible price. Under 22.5, minus 107. I'll see what I can get here. See if I can go in for a 250 spot. There we go. All right, I'm in on Şengün on the under. That's a lot of dough. Somebody wants this at minus 110, and we just got that at minus 107. It's just a great price in general. So we're in on the Şengün under. Speaking of positive EV, let's take a look at some NHL anytime goal scorers. We shared an incredible play early this morning on Zach Hyman. Got him at plus 195, which was just so good. This has been a market that I can easily say I have dominated since the NHL season has started. It's not even close. Draisaitl on Circa at plus 135 odds. Really only a Circa play. This one is barely in consideration for me. I did put they are running guys a 3-leg parlay boost on FanDuel. I did put Marchenko on my parlay boost to score. I added like him and Hyman, and can't remember my third pick. But I already played that over there earlier today. So, okay, so Leon in consideration for Edmonton. If you have Circa guys, I don't know, maybe I put up to a half unit on this play. It's got an edge. It's not a crazy good edge, but it's a small edge. All right, Marchenko just too low, too low. If you want to put him on the FanDuel boost slip, no problem. Otherwise, I'm not going to play him as a solo play. All right, let's look at some college basketball. DVigging a bookmaker. We also have college football in here as well for what it's worth. But we're looking at main markets for today, so it's only going to show college hoops. Again, I feel that bookmaker, they just take more money on their plays typically than Pinnacle. So Pinnacle's taking 7,500 on this A&M Tennessee game. Again, guys, when it comes to, there's going to be more money down. Number one, sportsbooks take more money on point spreads than they do the total points market. Number two, sportsbooks take more money on Power 5 conference games compared to, Massachusetts and Western Michigan, or UIC versus Northern Iowa. Sportsbooks aren't going to take that much money on this Northern Iowa game. They're going to take a decent amount of money on this A&M Tennessee game because they're really big schools. So the one thing that I always do when I'm betting college sports is I will log on to Bookmaker. We can see Circa's limit and Pinnacle's limit. If you want to log on to Bet Online as well and check out their limits, I can get behind that as well. So before I make any decisions, I log on to Bookmaker and see what's up. Love to bet this over Bet 105, number one, if this is real. But I first need to take a look at what's Bookmaker's line compared to Pinnacle in terms of their liquidity. What's the liquidity that they're taking? The more money a sportsbook takes on a play, the more confidence that they have in their line. If they didn't have it, they would just take less money. That just tells me that they have less confidence. So we're looking at Tennessee minus 11. And this is exactly why I use Bookmaker, right? So Pinnacle's taking $7,500. Not bad. Circa's taking $11,000. Not bad. Guess what? Bookmaker is taking $16,000 on this. So which sports book out of Circa, Bookmaker, and Pinnacle has the most confidence in their line? It's Bookmaker. They're taking the most money. So I am going to use Bookmaker's odds as my go-to compared to anything else. So I'm going to try to bet this over at Bet 105 if this is a real line. And it's currently not because everything is lined out. So unfortunately, this isn't real. Can I get this anywhere else close to plus odds? And the answer is no. And that kind of stinks. So what I'm going to do right now, because it's very clear that Bet 105 is way off on their pricing, we're going to select all the books, and then 105 I'm just going to deselect because it's not there. So I typically like to focus more on spreads than totals because the sharp books take more money on spreads. More money means more confidence, and when I'm looking for plays that have an edge, that's what's going to give me my confidence. So I like to lean more towards point spreads. If I was in Pennsylvania right now, which I will be tomorrow evening, I would definitely bet Notre Dame plus 4.5. It's only $162 in this market. See, Pinnacle's taking $3K. I would be happy to bet on the Irish at plus 4.5. Not a lot of liquidity there. Maryland at plus 9 on Profit X. Pinnacle's taking 1,500. Let's go back and let's see what Bookmaker's taking. And so this is my process, guys. I am going through every game that I am taking a look at, and I'm checking the liquidity on Bookmaker to see, like, is it good or is it not good? If it's similar liquidity to Pinnacle here, then I'm not really a fan of this. I will take a look to see, like, if there's line movement. Otherwise, we'll take a look. So they're taking $11,000 on Maryland. That's a lot of dough. Where Pinnacle's taking $1,500. So let me say this once more. Maryland plus 9 on Bookmaker. They're taking $11,000. Pinnacle's taking $1,500. So stop using Pinnacle as your sharp sports book for college basketball because it's not always the right move to do. Start using other sharp books like a Bookmaker, or hell, use Circa. They're 4 or 5 times the amount of money they're taking on this play compared to Pinnacle. So, you know, if Bet 105 actually has legit odds, I would bet this again because that's the first thing I think of is, ooh, Pinnacle's at plus 103. I would love to bet this over on Bet 105, even though it seems like every one of their lines everything's down on the sports book, basically. So go bet this on Profit X for $86 or Sport Trade. I do have a Sport Trade account, but I don't have any money in the account, so it's pretty good. All right, so that's Maryland plus 9. After that, guys, anything that's below 2%, I'll take a peek, but like I'm not like chomping at the bit here. So Wisconsin on the money line. Again, this is Big Ten basketball, so I can get behind that. So Pinnacle's taking $3K. You can see there's $300 on 4CX. This is a sports book I use all the time. Looks like they just took it down because Bookmaker is taking only $1,200. They're not taking a lot of money on this play, which is interesting. But they're taking a lot of money on the spread, but they're not taking much money on the money line. So just disregard it. And we'll pump this in once more. Low vig, guys, typically a sharp sports book. But again, I would be happy to bet this at Houston. Minus 101. Really can't get this probably anywhere else at even a close price. Even minus 105, not all that excited about betting it. So that's what I would say. I mean, Darius, it's again, it's at the end of the day, it's whatever sportsbook's taking the most money. So who's taking the most money on money lines, right? If you have Bookmaker, if you have Bet Online, I don't know. I can't remember off the top of my head which one does. But that's all I'm looking for. Which book takes the most amount of money on the market that you're looking to bet, and that's going to be the sports book that I lean into a little bit more, right? It's not that I just follow their plays blindly, but I definitely have more confidence, and especially on some of these plays where, you know, Bookmaker's taking 5 to 10 times the amount of money that Pinnacle is, then that's a big difference for me. So For money lines, I don't know off the top of my head, but when you use OddsJam, you can see Circa and you can see Pinnacle's limits. And if you have a bookmaker and BetOnline account, you can see what their limits are just simply by clicking into the play or clicking Risk Max Bet, and you can quickly find out that way. That's exactly how I would do it. Sorry, I can't help you out any more than that, but that would be the process that I would use if I were going to use that. All right, so that's college hoops right now. It's okay. It wasn't great. Let's take a look at some NBA player props. Doesn't really matter if you want to use Pinnacle or FanDuel, guys, in terms of your sharp book. The only reason I don't use the custom EV formula builder, it's just too slow. It's just way too slow. So, FanDuel, player props, I'm all about sharp movement. I'm just looking for either arbs, low holds, or movement. That's it. Arbs, low holds, or line movement from a sharp book. That's what I'm looking for. I don't give a shit what sharp book it is. If you see line movement, if you see it's an arb to a sharp book, if it's a low hold to a sharp book, or line movement that sharp book just moved, that's my green light indicator to say I'm willing to entertain this bet or I'm willing to bet it. So I don't just blindly bet everything on this screen. I go through each individual play. Some of these books that I'm going to pass up on, it's just because I'm very limited on these books. So certain markets in NBA player props, I've mentioned this before, Pinnacle doesn't set markets for. They don't set markets for points and assists, and points and rebounds and assists. They don't. So in those markets, like right here for Pickett, I would lean FanDuel as my sharp sports book. So this is no big place, $22. Just go bet this play. It's probably an arb to FanDuel. You're going to have a good time there. Player made threes for Pickett. Again, the under's at plus 115. The over at FanDuel's plus 102. This is an arb. Plus odds on the over and the under. I'm willing to bet more times than not that SportsZeno is incorrect with their pricing. And so I would be willing to bet this at SportsZeno. Sometimes I open this play up. I understand that maybe most of you are limited on SportsZeno. I just try to see, does any other sportsbook offer this? And unfortunately for this play, they don't. They don't at all. Orty, appreciate that. Yep. I wish you told me something I didn't know there, but yeah, it's not the best. BetUS is a solid book, but for their props builder, they'll limit you fairly quickly. But to be fair, Orty, if you sign up with a new book like BetUS and then you immediately just go and smash some prop builder plays, that's another way that they'll limit you instantly. If you've had a BetUS account for a while, you've bet some regular mainline spreads, totals, and then you've used Prop Builder, you're going to have a little bit more longevity with that account. If you just sign up for BetUS and then just start smashing Prop Builders, unfortunately, because this live arb edge is out there with the OddsJam community, Prop Builder has definitely caught up. I could definitely say that they've caught wind of this strategy, because books that you were able to use Prop Builder for a lot longer, that's not the case anymore. And that's kind of the case in general, guys. That's why most edges in sports betting never really get discussed and talked about to the masses, because once the masses kind of find out about it, things die. So I've definitely noticed on new sportsbook accounts, like on XBet or MyBookie or Bovada, when you go over to their Props Builder, immediately once opening a new account and you start betting plays over there, you're probably going to get limited within your first 5 to 10 bets. That's the unfortunate truth, because the books are kind of catching up. All right, Jalen Smith. Again, if you're not limited on Hard Rock, go bet this. I'm willing to maybe bet this over on DraftKings. This is an arb to FanDuel right here. Right now, I'm going to take a look at Pinnacle's odds. But at plus 125, that's an arb to Pinnacle on MGM. Go bet that every time, right? This over 7.5 rebounds, this is still not an arb to Pinnacle, but it's a very good price. If we click into DraftKings and I add Pinnacle, let's take a look. MGM's here. FanDuel dropped off a cliff a bit. Looks like they're at plus 105 here. What's going on here? What happened? Why is it telling me minus 125 and then it's telling me plus 112? Let me take a little quick peek at this. Jalen Smith, Bulls, Rockets, rebounds. I don't know which one to trust here when it comes to OddsJam. So Jalen Smith is at minus 111. So this is not plus 112. It's minus 111. Pinnacle moved. It's not plus 112 because I'm looking at it right now in FanDuel. So again, this would definitely be a play that I would be willing to go after and grab at plus 105 odds. This is about a 7% edge on DraftKings. I would imagine most of you guys are limited on BetMGM, but I'm going to go bet this on DraftKings because this is definitely a good play. Jalen Smith to get 8 rebounds. Pinnacle likes it. FanDuel agrees. Pretty solid at plus 105 odds. Let's go 200. I like that. Okay, what else do we got here? Jalen Johnson on rebounds over at Bovada. This is a really good arb to Pinnacle, or excuse me, really good arb to FanDuel. I would be happy to bet this over at Bovada. It's pretty juicy, but it looks pretty good. A lot of Jalen Pickett unders. So Hard Rock MGM. Okay. Let's take a look at some others. A lot of MGM, which is what you're going to see here. Pickett on his points, rebounds, and assists. Let's maybe refresh this page because I'm not sure why these are just kind of going away. Smith on his assist. We just bet his rebounds. This is an ARB to FanDuel. Nobody else has this at this price. ARBs are pretty much automatic bets. Now, I don't like the fact that DraftKings moved their price. So this honestly would be a scenario where maybe I would ARB this play or I just wouldn't touch it. It's the only thing I don't like when I'm being recommended to bet a play on a sports book and then we're betting into the book that literally just moved their price. Oh yeah, definitely Wilbo. Definitely about that. You lose enough on a certain sports book, sometimes they'll raise your limits. No doubt about that. So it's not always the worst thing, Anton, if you're not beating Sportzino right now because it could be a good thing. All these plays are about over a 7% edge DVigging to FanDuel, guys. I'm looking for DraftKings or maybe Bet105. But Bet105 seems to be down. Wiggins under on his points. Again, this is not an ARB. It's not an ARB, and it's not a low hold. So I'm looking for good line movement here. And we see some from FanDuel. About 40 minutes ago, they were at minus 130. They're now at minus 154. So betting Andrew Wiggins under on his points. Suns Heat. I like that a lot. So we'll bet Wiggins under on his points. Minus 122 odds. I don't maybe have the stones to do 300, but I'm going to do 200 bucks and grab that. That's a good play. I can get down with that. Again, it's not a low ARB, it's not a low hold, but there is really good line movement from FanDuel, so I like that. And it's the same exact thing. I just changed the DVig settings. Come to Pinnacle. Again, if you guys want to try OddsJam 1 week for free, save 35% of your first month after the 1 week trial ends. Use code Billy35. It's going to be linked in the description if you want to try it out. This is how I like to bet with OddsJam. This is my exact player prop process. If you find any of this informational, informative, if it helps you, if anything that I'm kind of going through actually helps you guys, do me a favor, subscribe to the channel, like the video, only though if you actually think it helps. If you think all of this is a bunch of bullshit and it doesn't really work, then by all means, give the video a thumbs down. I want your honest review of the streams. I'm not just here to collect likes. If you think this information sucks, let me know, because I'm trying to make the best content that I can that actually helps you as a sports bettor. Because at the end of the day, it's all about just trying to teach you everything that I know on here for free so that you can go yourself and have confidence and beat the books. Because at the end of the day, the sports books are the enemy, and I just want to beat the piss out of them and make as much money as I can. And hopefully you can learn a few things here. ARB to Pinnacle. Andrew Wiggins over on his rebounds. It's plus 180 on Camby on the over. Pinnacle's at minus 170 on the under. The plus odds number, 180, is larger than the minus odds number. That's an arbitrage play. That's a crossed market. Now, I am willing to bet more times than not that the recreational book fucked up. So, in that case, I'm definitely all about betting this over at Bet Rivers. there is definitely a chance that Andrew Wiggins gets 4 rebounds tonight or 5 rebounds, and this play loses. But when we're talking about volume, 50, 100, 500, 1,000, 10,000 bets, when you find plays like this with this process, I guarantee you you're going to be profitable. Guarantee you you'll be profitable over the course of the long run. So, bet that play. Jalen Johnson. We just saw a really big EV edge play on his under. Now we're being recommended to bet his over. This is an ARB to Pinnacle. Small ARB, but it's an ARB nonetheless. So I'm going over to the Hawks-Lakers game and betting Jalen Johnson over 10.5 rebounds. Again, I just don't tell you what to bet. I also place these bets myself. And if FanDuel was if FanDuel thought that I couldn't make any money sports betting, they wouldn't let me bet $64. I literally can't bet $65 on this play. So FanDuel knows that I know how to make money off them. That's why they only let me bet $64 on this play. And there's a lot of other smart people in this stream right now, guys, in the chat that know how to make money. So one thing that I don't say enough on these streams, please interact with other people in the chat right now. I have it open to everybody, not just OGs and DGens. If you're struggling or with certain sports books or a certain strategy, share information with each other. This is the best way where sharp people can come together and share information with one another. If you share an edge or share something with someone, I guarantee you there's a lot of great people in this chat. They're willing to help you out, right? You might not realize this, but you might have your next betting partner in this stream, in this chat right now, right? We talk a lot about forming partnerships and, syndicates and you're going to find some really smart, sharp people in this chat. Don't be afraid to maybe go out on a limb and share a strategy or talk openly about certain things, because you'll find there's some great people here that are willing to help you out and willing to share some insights to help you and help them. Patrick, Billy, just got the Sharp Money tool. Do you have a filter set up so that I can copy and paste? Not really, Patrick. It's a good question. I would definitely say that I've made a couple videos on OddsJam on their YouTube channel. And what I would do is, I'm just going to go over to the OddsJam YouTube page right now to share the link with you. I would just give these videos a watch and then copy and paste what I talked about in those videos. That's exactly what I would do. Which one is it? Yep, right here. So I would check out this video and do that there. And yeah, Patrick, I would also say for the Plus EV tool, again, I have a lot of different filters based off of a lot of different markets and sports. There is not just a one size fits all. So again, like for my NHL anytime goals, again, I've made a lot of videos on OddsJam sharing direct copy strategies. So like for my NHL anytime goal scores, this is literally the exact filter that I use when I place bets. This would be the video that was going to tell you step by step how to do so. So to help you, Patrick, to help you, I would definitely watch some of the most recent videos on OddsJam. Watch it on 2x speed, or just fast forward to the part where I'm on the EV tool and I show you my filter setup. That's what I would do to copy and paste. Good questions, but that's what I would do. And the Jalen Johnson play just moved from plus 154 to plus 142. I don't know if I put it in here or not. We got it for what, $64 at plus 154? So literally, yeah. ARB to Pinnacle, pretty good. Over 10.5 rebounds, plus 154 odds. It's now at plus 142. We just got a very, very good price. Pickett on his assist. This dude's going literally bonkers. Again, this is an ARB to Pinnacle. These are auto bets for me. You don't need to overthink it. Sports betting can be very complicated. I'm all about just trying to keep it very simple. Simplify your process. Don't overthink it. Bet solid plays with volume and rinse and repeat. That's all you need to do. So for Jalen Pickett, this is now at plus 104, not plus 114 anymore. I'm not as interested in plus 104 because it's not an ARB to Pinnacle. It's 4.9%. It's not bad. Let's refresh this. Love attacking FanDuel. Vooch over on his points. 1 cent off to being a low hold. Still very viable for me. I'm more than happy to bet this. So for him to score 16 points, plus 110 odds. What's my max wager? $113. Okay, that's what I'm going to bet. Can't bet $114. I'd love to bet more than that. Can't do so. So I'll take Pinnacle for the max at $113 at plus 110 odds. If outside of OGs and DGens, because they know what I'm about to say, if you can appreciate that I place these bets in front of you so that you can see that I'm a real OG here, I keep it a buck. Definitely subscribe to the channel and like the video, guys. It just helps me. Helps me out a lot. I try to be as transparent and as honest as I possibly can so that you guys know exactly what you're getting into and what this sports betting scene is like. I prefer positive EV betting. Arbitrage betting is great. You can day trade the books to make risk-free money. But your accounts nowadays are going to die very quickly. They just are. Unless you start to focus on live arbitrage betting, which is easier said than done. Live arbitrage betting, I would reckon that most people want to pull their hair out when they live arbitrage bet because it's just almost impossible. I get that. So I prefer positive EV betting. It's a little bit easier of a strategy. You're placing one bet on one book. Your account health is also going to last a lot longer on positive EV betting compared to arbitrage, just based off the foundation of the strategy. Arbitrage betting, you have to place 2 bets on 2 books. If you're placing this bet on Fanatics and MGM, I guarantee you your accounts are going to get limited twice as fast compared to just plus EV betting. So this is a great strategy here, guys, but I would definitely recommend just not going after it as much. This Jalen Pickett play, let's see if we can actually hit up an ARB for you guys here in real time. Would love to do this for you at the same time because I'm all about hitting some ARBs up from time to time. So Jalen Pickett on his assists, I'm limited on FanDuel. So I'm just going to try to hit this play up first over here on him. So he's at 4, right? So I go over here to FanDuel, and I want to find out what my max wager size is. And it's $84, okay? So I'm like, all right, all I can do is bet $84. So I come over here, I'm like, yo, $84, great. Now, I'm not going to submit the bet first on FanDuel, right? Because I know FanDuel's going to take this bet for $84. And they just suspended the whole market. Damn. So now we don't have an ARB. But let's say the play was still up on FanDuel, right? Because it's not right now. It's closed. If this play was still up on FanDuel, I would go over to Props Builder. I would bet the 70, and I would go submit this bet for $80, okay? Because I know FanDuel is going to accept my bet for $84. I don't know if Props Builder is going to accept my wager for $80. Very high likelihood they will, but I don't know that. So we have to go lock that leg in first. Then I can go lock in FanDuel second. What you don't want to do is go bet this at FanDuel, then go over to Props Builder and try to bet this and then realize, shoot, I can't bet this because Props Builder won't take this wager. That's how you screw things up. That's how you make mistakes. That's how you're like, dude, I don't understand arbitrage betting. No. Your execution was incorrect. You did steps 2, 3, and 1 instead of 1, 2, 3. So that's what you want to do when you have books like a FanDuel, like an ESPN Bet, like a Hard Rock, like a Fliff, where you know what the wager size is. That's how you can then execute this correctly. So unfortunately, Jalen Pickett is going haywire right now in his assists, so he can't hit it up. So that's what I would say. No problem, Patrick. No problem, man. I mean, there's the unfortunate part, Patrick, is just I use Bookmaker for college basketball. I'll use Pinnacle for NHL. I'll use Pinnacle and FanDuel for NBA player props. You know, if you would have talked to me like 2 years ago, I probably would have had like 2 filters I used. Now I have specific filters for specific sports, all kind of baked down into that as well. Let's go back over the EV tool. Damn, we're already over an hour? Holy shit. Sometimes it's like that. What's this Jabari Smith play? Not an ARB to Pinnacle, but it's not bad. And again, anytime that FanDuel has the same odds as the score, like the score is a joke of a sports book. It's really easy to beat. So this is like almost an automatic bet for me, but it's not an ARB and it's not a low hold. So I need to see, like, is there line movement from Pinnacle? And there is. This is really good line movement within the last 10 minutes. So I want to bet this Jabari Smith play all day long under 6.5 rebounds. All day long. Don't overthink it. Now, obviously if I wasn't limited, I would probably have a different story here in terms of trying to figure out what I should bet. It's a little easier now with 10% limits at FanDuel. You just go bet this. But then I'll also try to go back over here to Jabari Smith and see if I can bet this again. Now, as you notice, I just bet it at plus 120. On his alt line, it's plus 116. So FanDuel adds a little extra vig into the alt lines sometimes. So I'm not going to bet it at plus 116. So I'll just take it for whatever I got it at, which is 104. All right, guys, that's where we're going to pause for today. I got some dinner that I have to make for my girlfriend. I will be on tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern doing this again. No evening stream tomorrow. Again, there will not be an evening stream tomorrow as I'm flying from Phoenix to Pittsburgh. So I'll be on an airplane for a minute. There will be a stream Thursday morning, though. No doubt about that, as I'll be back in the great Keystone State. Guys, appreciate you. Great questions. Good interaction. Glad that the mic didn't screw up. Otherwise, have a fantastic Tuesday, and I'll talk to you guys mañana. Adios.